It's funny how well we work and fit together now because we both started at completely different places.
Who is Ralphie Rosario? Ralphie Rosario started off as a DJ back in late '79 into 1980, and I was just doing my thing, just playing records, recording, like every day after school, because I was in high school when it all happened. So when it all came together, I turned around and became consistent with it, and once it became consistent, it just took off on its own. You know, it's almost like if you're making records, you're doing records on a regular basis, and all of a sudden you got one record that actually hits, and before you know it, the whole wall comes down, and you're making good music. You're doing your thing. So, yeah.
I am a producer, I'm a composer, I'm a remixer, songwriter, multi-instrumentalist person who spent way too many years in music school. So my mom was a pianist that was frustrated because she didn't get to do it, so she encouraged me to play lots of instruments and gave me lots of lessons. So I started that around 4. And by the time I was 8 or 9, I was doing 5 lessons a day and loved performing and loved making music. And I had my first electric guitar, and I plugged it in and made really bad noises and thought, this is really cool, and screamed into the little microphone and thought, okay, I can do this. So then I came to Chicago, went to Northwestern, went out into the world and started gigging playing weddings and whatever I could get, hotels. Eventually, one day I got a call from a recording engineer who said, we have this session and our piano player is sick and he can't come. Can you make it? And I was lying in bed, I think hungover or whatever from the gig from the night before. And I basically just kind of shit a brick and went, okay. He said, this is an amazing opportunity. Can you get here? And so I got there. I walk in the room. Everyone's looking at me. I'm by far the youngest person. Pulls out a chart literally like this. So it started here. 6 pages later, I had 2-3 minutes to suss it out. Everybody's waiting for me to look at the chart. I'm at the piano. He goes, go. We go. And somehow, it was like a blur. I got through it. And as a result of that, that was the beginning of my studio career.
Starting off and being the DJ back in the day, it kind of graduated to this whole thing that was happening in Chicago, where all of a sudden these DJs, these underground DJs, started experimenting and making their own music, basically recording their own thing and realizing that drum machines were a way to get into recording what you want and what you felt and what you wanted to capture. And then a lot of recording studios were recording these things. Chicago Tracks was one of them, like we always talked about. And then that curiosity got me. And when it did, I started experimenting. I started working with some drum machines, learning how to program sequencers, things like that. I wasn't really there yet. I was more on the DJ thing, doing my thing with that. But it graduated into learning what it was like to record electronic music in the recording studio, striping tape and things like that. The recording engineers already knew how to get that sound to be the right way. And then before you know what, you started learning. You started doing your own thing. You started figuring out how it would work for you.